Hi, John here. I just wanted to talk a bit more about being a child of a narcissist mother. Now, the damage it has done to me, it's amazing. I can't I can't begin to go through all the situations of how it has damaged me in so many ways. Now, because a narcissist mother has no feelings, has no love, no empathy, and in her particular case, she wanted to hold on to me. She wanted me to stay with her, I guess, the rest of her life. Now, I had stayed there with her through my 20s. I would move out for a short period and then I'd move back in. I never had to work. I didn't have to buy groceries. It doesn't matter if I worked or not. She always said I had a good place to stay there, and I don't have to work, she said. You have a nice place to stay, you have food to eat. And I was never encouraged as a young boy to be educated, to make something of my future, to have a decent life, a decent income, a home, a family. This was never spoken of. What was mentioned, be a laborer, people make too much money. All these things that she would say to me that just programmed me into negative thinking. Now, as a result of that, I had this notion in my head that it wasn't proper to work. I didn't have to work. And of course, I wasn't educated I didn't have any career of any sort. I was never encouraged to. And people that did, it was just, seemed strange to me. Because the way you are programmed when you are a child, that's the way you think the world is. So people that are living in a different mindset, people that do go to university, they become educated, get good careers. You don't understand this. All I understood was if I could work a labor job, I didn't have to stay anyways. I could always go back to my mother's and live there for free. Now the damage this did to me as I got older, into my 30s, I was at my mother's. I would leave for periods of time, maybe a year or two, and I always would go back. It was a free place to stay. I had my own place. I had free meals. I didn't have to work. I was encouraged not to work. Now, the damage that this has done to me through my whole lifetime has been a terrible, terrible problem. Now, as I had learned a year or so ago about narcissism, and it did come to my realization that my mother was a narcissist. And her motives, I can see what her motives were to keep me around. She wanted me to be there so she could feed off of me. She could get her emotions, get her energy from me. As I was the only person that lived with her at this time in the later years of her life. And it got to a point in my 30s, I just realized that this is very detrimental to my maturity. I have to get out of this place. And I did move out in my 30s. And she would try to contact me to get me come over to see her. I would not go over. I knew it was wrong. I felt so guilty about leaving, but then I felt worse if I did go and visit her. I just felt this evil about her. I could sense there was no love. I could not figure it out. Now that I have figured it out, I am not the only one in this situation. There are other people out there that have lived or are living with a narcissist parent. They may be in their 40s, 50s, even 60s. I've seen men living with their mother, and their mother dies, they're totally lost. Now there is awakening. Once you realize, you understand this is quite a common situation. There are narcissist parents, narcissist mothers, in my particular case that I'm so familiar with, that will suppress you to keep you there with her because they want to feed off you. They want you to be an object for their satisfaction, and they have no concern about your welfare whatsoever. And of course, it has angered me realizing this, what has happened, but I don't hold the anger in a bitter state. I've just used the anger to progress myself into a stable, mature, more satisfied life. I have a feeling that I haven't felt before. I have a freedom. I don't feel this guilt I carried around almost all of my life. That guilt is something programmed into my mind, and I am finally free of it because I have discovered that I was made to be a codependent by the dictatorship of my narcissist mother, but I have been set free because I have continued over the months studying this through YouTube videos, through reading, through understanding that this is a situation that happens to many people, and many people won't realize it or want to see it. It's an opening of your eyes, and it's something you can be set free of. And I hope that others out there who are living in such a situation will look to the freedom that can be found through YouTube. That's a good start. There's so much literature on narcissism, codependency. I did recently attend a group where we had discussions on our codependency, and it was a great release for me, and seeing that I was not alone in a situation of negative programming from a narcissist. And I hope that I have been a benefit to somebody out there, and if you like this, I hope that you subscribe. And I thank you very much. Goodbye.